Live with John Show on Murfreesboro.com. We have returning guests. Thank you. I appreciate you all coming from the Rutherford County Virtual School to kind of do an update from the first time we had y'all because it was like right post-COVID, I think, or during COVID, the original one, and going to see where y'all are at, how things are coming. We have Miss Laura, who is a parent of a student, right?
Yes.
And then we have Miss Rachel, who is a teacher, and Elijah, who's a student over there. So thank you all. We get all kinds of perspectives today. I'm looking forward to this. And then we got some lady off camera sitting over there. So, no, I'm just kidding. So anyways, thank you all for coming.
Thank you for
really
having us.
appreciate it. Awesome.
Thank you.
So Ms. Laura, we'll start with you real quick. So what grade is it son or daughter?
A daughter.
Daughter.
Molly.
What grade is she in?
She's in 7th.
7th? Okay, gotcha. And then what grade do you teach?
I teach 5th grade.
5th grade?
Yes.
And Elijah, what grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore?
So 10th grade.
All right, very cool. All right, cool. Well, again, thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. So we can talk about this because I know the virtual school has been kind of a topic of discussion for multiple reasons. So I'm going to throw out a question right there because I just want to hear your response. Like when people say, oh, that's the COVID school, what's your response to that as the teacher?
So I always want to tell people that we are not a COVID school. Mm-hmm. We are not in response to COVID. I know so many people think that. The timing of when our school opened in 2020, mm-hmm. I think led a lot of people to think that we were COVID, but it was in the works and in the plans before COVID ever existed. We would still be sitting here with you today if COVID had never happened. We are not a COVID school. We are not a temporary school. We're here to stay. The only thing we plan on doing is getting bigger and better, so we aren't going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, because I actually remember the original press release was long before COVID when they had talked about it. And so what was the purpose of forming a virtual school?
I think the purpose is to give families an option. Mm-hmm. There are lots of different needs among students, and we fit some needs that traditional in-person schools can't fit. And it's, schools, so many schools haven't changed, and times are changing. School's not very different from when I was in school, and that just doesn't fit the needs of all of our students anymore. Mm-hmm. So we're able to give a different option to our families.
Okay. Got it. Were you a traditional school teacher beforehand?
Yes.
Okay.
I taught several years, 5th grade in person. So it's really... There's so many families that can benefit from our service. Yeah. There are families that are with us because they're medically fragile or they have a medically fragile family member. Mm-hmm. There are some that for safety reasons they want to be with us. There's some that are competitive athletes and it frees up their schedule to practice more during the day when they would normally be in a traditional setting. Okay. There's families that travel. I had a student whose father's an international businessman and he travels the world and he wanted his family to travel with him.
Oh,
so they put their son in our school, and he's able to be across the world and still be in class every day. So there's just a lot of options. And some people just want to keep their family together. I had another student lived on a farm. She wanted to be able to go deal with the horses and put shoes on them in the afternoon, and she was able to do that. There's just a lot of different reasons why people choose us.
I gotcha. Well, Miss Laura, as a parent, when you first heard about the virtual school, was it kind of like, what is this? Or was it like, hey, all right, let's give it a shot? Or
it was kind of a mixture of both. Mm-hmm. So like Miss Everett was saying, it was around, in 2020 when COVID sort of shut the world down for a little bit. All of this, our school, like other schools, had temporarily transitioned into a distance learning environment. Okay. And at some point that ended, and we were expected to send the kids back to school. Gotcha. So the elementary school that we were at the time, I asked the principal if he was going to have some sort of a virtual option that we could still consider using, and he said no, not at this time. Okay. And our daughter, who's currently at our CVS, was asking, well, how can we make this work? I want to continue doing school from home. And so we started looking at options, heard about RCVS, I think through the RCS website.
Gotcha.
And we thought, where has this been? We didn't realize this was a thing. Yeah. And so it was really ramping up, and we were able to apply and begin going there, and it's been great.
Was the process pretty simple as far as
it was
transferring? Is that a traditional transfer school? Sorry, I don't know.
Oh, no.
Was it easy?
Yeah, I mean, it's a public school that's part of the Rutherford County School District, as you know. Yeah. And the process of transferring, if I recall, it was just filling out an application for our CVS, and then just going through the appropriate, segue into that school.
Okay, cool. It sounds like it's been working.
It has.
Yeah.
It's been great. She's
Right.
thriving.
Yeah, awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to switch over to Elijah real quick. So same type of question. When you first heard about it, was it like, hey, all right, what's this? Let's give it a shot, or what were your thoughts?
So when COVID first hit, I was at Central Magnet.
Okay.
In, I think, 6th grade.
Okay.
I think I was in 6th grade. Mm-hmm. So that hit, and we were off for months. And when we came back, Central actually did have a virtual option.
Okay.
But it was kind of like a hybrid situation. So they just had cameras in the classrooms, and we would watch.
Okay.
So after that ended, I was still kind of looking for a virtual option. So I transferred to RCVS. I think we also maybe saw it on the RCVS page, or we just searched like virtual school in Rutherford County. And I ended up there in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was really excited to try it, and it's kind of been beyond what I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. We'll get back to that. I want to elaborate on that some more in a minute.
Before we totally leave the COVID, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
There were a lot of families that were thrown into this distance learning when COVID hit. And I taught distance learning. We are nothing like distance learning.
Okay.
You know, I shed the tears with the families in that distance learning because we were thrown into something that wasn't planned for, no resources, no training. This is completely different. We have resources, we have training, we're planned, it has a purpose.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be associated with distance learning either because that's not us either.
Okay, well, if you don't mind, let's dive into that a little bit. So the distance learning versus virtual learning. What, in your experience, what's the difference? Like,
we didn't even have a platform when we went into distance
well, that's
learning.
a big one, yeah.
That
Okay.
is. So we have a designated learning management system that we use that they can do at their online classroom. So instead of going into a physical classroom, I go into my, digital classroom where all of the classes are housed. Each subject's housed there so they can do their work online. We provide laptops for students. Every student that comes into our school gets a school-issued laptop.
Okay.
In elementary, we now are providing a document camera and a box of school supplies. So we give them everything they need to set them up for success. They have their textbooks. You just didn't have that with distance learning. Plus, they have dedicated teachers who are thriving also in this environment. It doesn't work for everyone. It doesn't work for every student. It doesn't work for every teacher. But we have a school full of people that it does work for. Yeah. And they're able to provide as good of a quality education as what you're going to get in person. We, in a lot of ways, I think it works even better. We've realized that you can't have a student on from 8 to 3 solid on a computer in a distance learning. That's what we tried to do. We try to mimic the traditional schedule. But here they get, for elementary and middle, they get the bulk of their they get the bulk of their education in the morning, that whole group learning, and then the afternoon is spent doing small groups or maybe even one-on-one. Like where in a traditional in-person are you going to be able to have one-on-one time with your teacher? Yeah. Schedule a meeting, reach out and say, hey, I need some help, and be able to have that without disruptions of the whole group in the background.
I gotcha. Okay. Do you find, I'm just curious, do you find, maybe more so probably in the beginning now that this is more widely accepted, but was it hard to keep them focused on task, like on the computer? Or?
Are we talking about distance learning, or are we talking about my class?
Let's talk about distance learning first.
Distance learning.
So was that because that was so new? Was that hard to keep them?
So distance learning, they didn't even all have the devices that they needed to be successful. And we didn't have programs. We didn't have, there's so many different types of software programs that we have available to use with the kids to make them successful. We just didn't have that when we did distance learning. We did not have the resources we needed.
Gotcha.
It was trying to build an airplane without the supplies. It just didn't work with distance learning. But here we have the supplies that we need, and we're doing, I think, a really good job of making this work for kids. And it's not hard to keep them engaged. They're very engaged, just like any other classroom. We have discussions. They talk with me. They are able to reach out when they need help. They send me emails. They're learning skills that a lot of students aren't going to learn until they get to college or high school. They learn to advocate for themselves. They learn to send emails. They have to learn time management skills and independence that a lot of students aren't learning if they're in person because it's just a different type of environment.
Yeah. Okay. I want to go back to that in a little bit, but I was curious, Elijah, with you, from the distance learning to now the virtual school, did you say, was it the same type thing? Like, was it like, oh my God, what is this? And,
not really. I mean, I had a brother. I have a brother.
There you go.
Who was, when COVID first hit, he also did distance learning.
Okay.
Same room with me. Like it was a situation.
Okay, I got you.
He could not focus.
Really?
He had the hardest time. He needs to be in person with people.
Okay.
He's a black man right now. Like he couldn't continue with it.
Okay.
I personally really enjoyed it. I've always been pretty good with like time management, which is a big skill. I mean, for my Zoom meetings,
Yeah.
I'm on a meeting from 9 to 10.
Okay.
And then I have other classes that I chose to take. But for other students, that's it.
Yeah.
And then they just do their homework for the rest of their classes by themselves on their own.
Gotcha.
Kind of asynchronously.
Yeah.
So I've always been kind of used to doing that. And during the central distance learning, that was, like Miss Everett said, from 8 to 3, trying to kind of mimic a regular school classroom setting. And I just kind of realized that it was a lot of wasted time.
Yeah. Okay.
Because really the core classes take a few hours. And then have lunch and recess and getting between classes and breaks. And there's a lot of things that really like disrupt that time that when I was in school, I didn't enjoy doing. I just kind of wanted to get in, do my work, and get out.
Okay. How old are you again?
I am 15.
15? My God, you're very insightful. The words coming out of your mouth. Dang.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to work for you one day.
Yeah, I just kind of realized it was really inefficient.
Yeah.
And so, especially at the virtual school, you can work ahead for most of your classes.
Okay.
As far as you want.
Very cool.
You can finish in a week.
Okay.
You can graduate early.
You
when
can
you're in high
graduate
school.
early.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Really?
That's a
Oh, is that kind of like up to you, like your path?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to do that actually.
Oh, good job. All
Work
right.
on that path. But it's very different from distance learning.
Okay.
I think it's much better put together.
Yeah.
When distance learning happened,
Yeah.
nobody had time. Nobody kind of saw that coming.
Yeah.
So people were just scrambling to kind of like, we got to
Yeah,
get the
gotcha.
kids back in school. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And so it ended up with, we're going to put a camera in our classroom, at least for us, and make the kids join a Microsoft Teams meeting.
Yeah.
But now at the virtual school, it's way better.
Yeah.
It's way more put together. I mean, you would expect for an all virtual school, they kind of know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you.
But there's so much to do. If you want to stay at home the whole time, you can.
Yeah.
If you want to socialize the whole time, you can. We have lots of in-person socialization options.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things you can do to kind of not mimic that school in-person socialization.
Yeah.
But that is kind of the biggest thing. People might say you're losing that. I mean, I know some people that I've talked to about it have been very worried that I'm not in person and talking with people and learning communication skills, but you're getting that at the school.
I think your communication skills sound just fine right now. So very well spoken. But cool. I want to go back on something you said here in a minute, but I want to get the parents' point of view on that. So did you find it hard for your daughter or anything, or were there times where you're like, get back on the computer, or
As far as being motivated for the schoolwork?
Yeah, and for in the beginning with distance learning versus the virtual school.
Well, this one was just born being self-motivated
Oh,
somehow.
well, okay,
So,
all right.
yeah, so she does really great with that. But it seemed like, with the distinction between distance learning and then this very put together framework of the virtual school, she transitioned from one to the other really well.
Okay.
And she's a self-motivated kid. She's very organized. She'll make notes. She writes down what she has to do for her assignments. And as Elijah said, she'll work ahead sometimes. If she knows she has something coming up, say, that's due in a week, and then she'll begin working ahead on that, or at least have a note written about it.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't had any issues with her at all. She really loves it.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Now, I'm curious. I've had discussions with other people about the school. Do you find, is it, how do I word this? Like I think the common misconception, some people were like, oh, it's only introverted kids versus extroverted and all that. And I'm like, no, I've met some kids that seem crack across the board. Is that how it is? Did everybody just kind of across the board?
I think it's like any other public school.
Okay.
We have kids all the way across the board.
Yeah.
We have some that are very outgoing, and as Elijah said, we have in-person events. They come to all of them.
Yeah.
We have some that are maybe a little bit more introverted, and we give social options virtually.
Yeah.
So they might choose those so that are still getting that
Yeah.
socialization, just choosing to do it a little bit virtually. But it's across the board.
Okay. I was just curious. That's from other people that have said things. I was like, I beg to differ. I mean, met you outside just right off the bat. You're like, hey, how you doing? I was like, oh, hey, Elijah. So, but you talk about in-person events. What kind of in-person events do you? How's that work?
We have Connection Fridays. Every Friday afternoon is designated to having some type of event for our students to either get together in person or virtually. We have clubs they can join that meet around twice a month. We have Beta Club, Cooking Club, Community Service, all of those that you would expect.
Oh,
There's
community
lots of
service.
clubs we
That's
do.
cool.
We have
Okay.
fishing. We have a run club, and I could go on and on with
Yeah.
clubs. But we also have 4-H. We do some school-wide and then grade band level-wide field trips. Some field trips we have coming up. The Nashville Zoo's coming up. Lucky Lad Farms.
Everybody loves the zoo.
State Capitol. African American Museum of Music in
Very cool.
Nashville.
Yeah.
So we do lots of
Awesome.
variety of field trips. But it really is just to get those kids together because we don't have the traditional recess, every day that you would expect to have in elementary school. So it's kind of combining all that into one event. And I asked my class, I told them I was doing this today, and I said, what do you want me to be sure and say? And they said Connection Fridays.
Connection
They
Fridays,
wanted
okay.
everyone to know that we have these social events where
Yeah.
they make their best friends.
Yeah.
And then they come back from that and they create their own Zooms and they have their homework sessions from it, and they just have this really good group of friends.
You said Connection Fridays, and both these two smiled. So I'm guessing, do you do those?
Yeah, I've never missed one.
Oh, there you go. Okay. What's some of the stuff you've done?
I think it might have been last Friday we went to the roller rink.
Yeah?
Just today I have a club that I'm going to after this.
Oh, very cool.
It's virtual, but we've done that. We have the zoo coming up. Of course, every Connection Friday is completely gone from my mind now.
I got that. All right.
But it's a lot
On
of,
the spot.
I guess, like, I know we've been to, was it like the Patterson Park?
We've been to Patterson Park.
Patterson
Yes.
Park. Really what's kind of provided, I think, the activities aren't as structured as like, we're going to the zoo, here's the schedule, but they just kind of like put us in an environment to kind of group us all together
Okay.
to where we can interact and like make friends that way.
Okay.
Because I personally believe like if they did like try to schedule everything, like, I've been to events where everything is scheduled.
Yeah.
It's not as fun and enjoyable, and you can't really do maybe what you want to do in a setting like that.
Yeah.
Whereas like with the Fridays, just last week, like I met some new people that showed up to the roller skate for the first time.
Okay.
Just because it was just kind of a fun place that we all got to go to.
Yeah.
Where we could just kind of be ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I like it. So instead of the structured, you like the more kind of like, here's the pot, the melting pot. Just go have
Exactly,
fun. Okay.
yeah.
Very cool. Nice. Okay. How about your daughter? How many? She like that too?
She does, but she's more into the virtual clubs that she's into from home.
I got you.
Beta Club, Student Leadership Club. Last year there was a microwave cooking club. That was a lot of fun, and she was able to learn some new skills safely.
Yeah. Remember these clubs when we were in school? Dang,
I know.
don't do this stuff. That's awesome. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, well, that's cool. It sounds like she's doing well with that too. So, okay. Yeah, I want to hear more about that later. That's the Connection Friday sounds like something pretty cool, but awesome. So now I have a list of questions here. I'm going to dive into some of these if that's all right, if you don't mind. Okay. We had some of these made up beforehand. So it's like, okay, who can attend the school? Do you filter people? Is it filter? That's the wrong term. Do you scan? Is it like applying to Harvard type thing, or can anybody apply? How does that work?
Anyone can apply.
Okay.
We truly are a public school. We have our application. All they have to do is fill that out and turn that in.
Okay.
We do. There are a few things. You need to be willing to be on Zoom.
Okay,
Every day, have your camera turned on. Parents have to. There is a contract that they sign, basically agreeing to that and providing parental support when needed.
Okay.
But it's not like we are Harvard and that you have to have all A's to get in. It's not anything like that. It's basically agreeing to be on Zoom, have your camera turned on, turn your work in, participate in class, that type of thing.
Okay, awesome, cool. I'm curious. A question just popped in my own head. Do you find that with the virtual school, have you noticed any difference or correlation with grades as far as like, did grades get better? Did they stay the same? Does that make sense where I'm going with
It
this?
does make sense.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a great question because there are some students that truly thrive. I saw that in distance learning, even though it was a little bit of a hot mess for a minute in distance learning.
Yeah.
I still saw the potential for where it could go because there were some students that really do thrive this way. They learn better without the distractions of in person, without potential bullying. We know as much as we hate it, it's out there. It takes that away, and that was what made me go, I wanted to pursue this.
Yeah.
So I reached out to the virtual school because I could see I could see the potential. And there are some students that do so much better. But then there are some students that this just is not a good fit for.
Yeah.
If they don't have any time management, if they're not able to independently complete some work on their own, this probably isn't going to be a good fit for them. And we want it to be a good fit. We want them to learn as much from us or more than what they would anywhere else.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, like with you hear about. I mean, when I was younger, I just did not take tests well, and so if I had a little more focused, curriculum, something I could do, I have a feeling I probably would have done better. But I was just curious on the grade part. So awesome. But Elijah, if you don't mind, I'm asking, what's your typical day look like?
So I wake up at about 8. Do all my daily morning routine things. Then I have a math Zoom at 9.
Okay.
Stay on that, do my work there until 10, and then after that I am, for the most part, out of Zoom for the rest of the day. I have like a guitar class that meets 2 times a week on Zoom. I have a biology like supplementary Zoom, but for the most part it's just my math Zoom.
Okay.
And then I usually am finished with my work for the day at about 12.
Okay.
So then for the rest of the day, I can just kind of do whatever.
Yeah.
So sometimes I might work ahead or study for a test or just relax.
Yeah.
Go do something with my mom or just kind of do, for lack of a better word, like whatever I feel like doing.
Yeah, I got you.
Because it gives you, the school gives you so much time to do your work. And the staff and teachers are so nice. I've had some real tough times.
Yeah.
And they've been very accommodating.
Yeah.
So it's really, I've never really had a time where I felt like super stressed and rushed to do my work.
Okay. That's awesome. I like that. Okay. So hold on. You have one Zoom for math.
Yes.
Right? And you do everything else on your own?
Not entirely. So, if you need help, every class has a teacher.
Yeah.
Through our platform, Pearson. They're all across.
Okay.
America.
I'm just curious because you sound very self-driven, and it
is
like you want to get ahead, and it sounds like this is a platform for you.
It's definitely a very self-driven school.
Okay.
I had a friend last year who couldn't handle it.
I got you.
He was not motivated enough to do his work.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of help him out at times to tell him to do his things or help him study for a test because he couldn't do it.
I got you.
And he's gone now.
Yeah.
He left the school, he moved. So
I got you.
I think there was more reasons.
Yeah, I got you.
Schooling,
Understood, yeah.
But it definitely is very self-driven.
Yeah.
There are teachers for every class. I have some teachers that are in Florida, Oklahoma. They're all
neat.
all around.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Okay.
So that would just be for our high school.
For high school.
Our high school contract's out through Pearson. So a lot of the teachers are in other states. Our math teachers are local. They're local Rutherford County teachers. So he has those that are in person that he can meet up with any time. They also do, like you said, some supplemental Zooms for some
it almost sounds like
high school classes.
for lack of a better term, like mini college, because you can do Zooms and stuff. You can do college in California and through Zoom. So sounds like that's what you're doing already. So shoot.
I do want to say that elementary and middle have all local Rutherford County teachers.
Okay,
so and they are on Zoom daily with their students. High school is a little bit different. And my daughter actually graduated from Rutherford County Virtual School.
Oh, very cool.
In December. So, like you said, it's very easy to work ahead and graduate early. It's very doable to graduate a whole year early if you want to, because we are on semesters like college, like you just mentioned, for our high school.
Got it.
So they can earn more credits in a year than they can in traditional schools.
Given this is somewhat of newer concept with the virtual school, do you find the college application process any different, or do they look at it different?
That's a great question because I've heard parents say, my child can't do that. They can't graduate from there. It'll hurt their scholarships, but not at all. My daughter graduated. She's very self-motivated. She good grades, good GPA. She got one of the highest scholarships available at her college of choice.
That's awesome.
So it is. You're just as eligible for all of that, and the process is exactly the same because we are a public school.
Yeah.
Complete public school.
Okay, so no different.
No different.
All right, so we squashed that one right away. Okay,
yes.
Very cool. Now, if you don't mind, going to the parent view. So, how does your daughter's traditional day look? Like very similar or different? How does that work?
She has more Zooms than high school.
Okay.
So middle school is more, so she gets going around 8:15, her first class starts.
Gotcha.
So there's a rotation for all 5 days of the week.
Okay.
Where we have the core classes, math, science, social studies, ELA, and then they work in PE. Actually, you can do that from your living room, believe
cool.
it or not.
That's neat. Okay.
And Dr. Jenkins leads them through, different health and nutrition and different exercises, floor exercises and things like that. And then we have a wonderful fine arts teacher who handles art and music classes as well. But she's done with her Zooms by 11:30 every day. And then she's got the afternoon to plan out what assignment she needs to work on.
Okay.
And she's been there since 5th grade. But one nice thing that they've added this year is they've built in a 15-minute break midway through the morning between all those Zooms.
Okay.
So they can run to the restroom, get a snack, stretch. It's nice.
Okay. Neat. I'm curious, like you were saying, Elijah, you're done, usually around noon-ish, give or take. Okay.
About.
And your daughter about noonish as well. So are there programs with the school, or can the kids go to other programs, like, say, for the rest of the day that they're going to prepare for, like if you're on an engineering path, for example, like, are there programs where, like, say, hey, you can go work with Roscoe Brown or Lee Company or whatever and do things like that? Or?
We do have a partnership. We are the only Rutherford County school to have a partnership with Nissan.
Oh,
so
very cool.
Students can work with Nissan and make over $17 an hour while being a high school student. So
I made $5 an hour, my friend.
I know. I think I made less than that.
Right.
So it's that's a great partnership that we have. We also, I think we're the only school that has a partnership with Montlow, MTSU, and TCAT, where the whole catalog is open to our students.
No way.
So they are able to take any of those courses that they want, virtually or in person, on site.
Wow. So they can get, basically vocational training as well as college.
Yes.
Right. Dang.
Yes.
All right, Elijah, are you doing any of those? I'm messing with you. But does that appeal to you? Like something you want to do?
Yeah, I've done a lot of things with and at MTSU.
Surprise, surprise.
That's
awesome.
They make it really easy.
Do they?
I know it like Central, and I was much younger, but nobody ever talked to me about, maybe we can do a summer camp for engineering and agriculture at MTSU, right? Or we can. How about we go to this math competition? Nobody ever talked to me about that. Yeah. But here, everybody, our counselor, Miss Courtney, is so on point. Yeah. She helps so much. Doing this whole kind of, really bringing the opportunities to us. It's gotten to the point where, like, I have to make decisions on which one I want to try and do. Okay. I just don't have enough time to, for example, to do MTSU and then do a dual enrollment program. But that's, a good problem to have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, look, more options the better.
Exactly.
Like, so. But I don't want to overlook the teacher side. Real quick, go back to that. So, what does your typical day look like?
So I'm teaching elementary. In elementary, we have our Zooms in the morning. We start at 8:15, and we teach the core curriculum in the morning. Once they leave me, my class, the last class of the day is their special area. So they would go to PE or art or music for my students. Then there's a break, a lunch break in there. And then the afternoon I spend doing small groups with students that might need extra support or might need accelerated work. I would pull them back for small groups during that time. They can also reach out to me if they're struggling with any of their work and ask me for help during that time. So I'm available during that time.
Now, is there an actual physical school that you go to teach? Can you teach from your house? So how's that?
We work at the John Coleman Annex in Smyrna. So we actually go to a building. We have little offices inside of what used to be a classroom, probably in the 1950s.
Oh, I got you.
That's where we are.
Okay, cool. Well, nice. This is, man, you guys are full of info today.
I do want to say one thing, though, because so many people are thinking, well, there's no way you can get everything taught. If my child's only on until noon, there's no way that you can get everything in. Yeah. Most of the core curriculum for elementary is taught Monday through Thursday. We do meet on Fridays, and we work on something with 4th grade called BizTown, BizTown, that the students can go to, which is another thing to talk about. But during that core time of Monday through Thursday, I teach just as much as I did when I was in person 5 days a week all day. Because we're taking away all of those things like Elijah mentioned earlier. We're taking away the gyms and the walks down the hallway and the bathroom breaks. And it's much more efficient. That's the word I like. It's very efficient.
Very efficient. Okay.
Very efficient.
Well, you said, was it J.E. BizTown? Was that?
J.A. BizTown.
Okay, you lit up. What was that?
Well, I did that in, I think maybe 5th grade, maybe 4th grade. I don't know what it was when I was doing it. I didn't know we did that.
Yeah, we do that. It's for, we're doing it with 4th and 5th graders.
Okay.
It is a we're spending most of the year on the curriculum because we're only doing it once a week, but it teaches them real life skills as far as how to handle money and deposit checks and write checks
cool,
and how to run a business and how to take out a loan and all of those type of things.
Then
they
awesome.
get to go practice it. There's a real little town.
I've had so many conversations with parents that were like, God, I wish they would teach these like finance classes or something in school. Like kids need to know how to like handle a credit card or handle this or handle that. I was lucky enough when I was a kid. My parents gave me a gas card, but just from that gas card and gas was 68 cents a gallon back then when I was driving. Still remember that to this day. But it would, taught me money management. Just I got a budget. Well, at the time, $12 for my gas of tank. Gas of tank. Wow, tank of gas. I can talk, folks. I'm here. So, but so that's really cool. They're doing that. Okay,
yeah,
that's neat.
come to Rutherford County Virtual School. We're doing it. But then at the end of the year, we go in April. The students actually get to go and put into practice what they've learned all year. There's this actual little town that you get to go to. They have support from businesses. There's a Dollar General. Help me remember what else is there. There's a TV room. There's a radio station. Yeah. So they earn money at their job while they're at this JA Biz Town that they get to spend and actually keep the things that they buy while they're there.
That's really cool.
It is cool. The kids love it. Love it.
Dang, I bet.
And then they're sad when they get too old and they can't go back.
I'm sad right now.
He's like, man, I want to go back to that. That's awesome. I love it. But I'm just curious. One more question I have. For instance, like on the parent side, is there, when the student enrolls, are there certain requirements that are set by the school for the parents and the students? Like, is it, do they have you sign anything? Like, is there certain rules? How's that work?
Yeah, it's sort of a dual agreement.
Okay.
You're agreeing with your child that you're going to uphold the rules of the school just as you would with any in-person school.
Okay.
That you're going to make sure that, that the child is being respectful to the teachers. And while on Zoom, that the camera's going to always be on. That you're not just going to be yelling things out of turn. You're going to keep yourself muted. Yeah. Sort of things like that.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that seems pretty easy. You can follow that pretty good. And, well, how about the student side? Did you have to sign anything or have agreements?
Yeah, we had a few things when we just first came in about the whole Zoom and keep your camera on and that whole thing.
Yeah.
Every year I have to sign like an academic agreement, kind of saying I'm not going to cheat on tests or assignments because, in all fairness, that is a problem.
Yeah, I got
with this schooling form. You can so easily just open another tab.
Yeah, I got you.
So I had to sign an agreement kind of saying I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But I think, that was just about it. It was the academic agreement. And then when we first came into the school, me and my mom both had to sign some papers just saying, I'm going to show up.
Yeah.
And if I don't show up, I can get expelled. Pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. So are normal attendance rules and things like that too?
Yes.
How many are they allowed to miss?
It's the same as the county. I believe it recently changed. I think it changed last year, but I'm thinking they can have somewhere between 5 and 8 before they start getting a truancy letter.
Okay.
Our bookkeeper keeps up with that, just like in all other schools. But somewhere in that, they'll get a truancy letter if they go over that.
Okay.
But we take excused absences too, and we're just the same.
Yeah.
As any public school.
Understood. Oh, very cool. Well, I just one last one, and we can close out. I think we hit all my questions, but I'm just curious. Have you had any student, or have you done this or anything, like somebody messes with you behind the camera and having some fun? Have you seen any of that? Like people having fun?
On the student side, because I'm looking at my students
or
on my
I've
camera?
seen, you see those things online that are funny of a little brother or something coming up and, or something. But some of them have been very creative I've seen online. So have you seen any of that stuff?
I've definitely seen a few siblings jump behind the students. I've definitely seen that. Sometimes, we'll have someone come in the room and wave at the kids.
Yeah.
From behind me and the camera, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Tell me, please, as a parent, you've messed with your daughter.
Sure.
Tell me, please, you've messed with her.
I think in the beginning when I was trying to make her laugh, especially when she was very stressed about how it was all going to go at the very beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
And then she gradually became more comfortable.
Okay.
But now the craziest thing in camera would be if one of the cats jumps up on
on
the desk and the tail is sort of in front of the screen.
Yeah. I think I saw one. It was a dad trying to joke with his daughter, and she ended up dancing with him or something. He was down there dancing behind her, and she's like, "All right," and they got up and danced, and it just went one of those viral videos. But I was like, I would die laughing if I saw one of those. But you done anything over there?
A lot.
Oh yeah, what you do? You and your brother?
Well, I would, when we were both doing Zoom at home, our desks were like on either one of these walls. Like we were very close.
Yeah.
So I would kind of like, I'd purposefully, after I got done, before he did, I'd go take a shower and then just walk through in a towel or like, you know, kind of peek my head in like a Kilroy.
Oh, that's awesome.
He also he'd see if I was unmuted.
Yeah.
And he'd start talking bad about his classmates.
Oh, no.
He'd be like, like loudly.
Oh, I got you, joking around. I would just say, like, see a basketball or something. That's what my brothers would do. Shoot. Well, awesome.
Would like to share something we're very proud of,
Please
if
do.
you don't mind.
Yeah.
We accomplished something this year that very few virtual schools have accomplished.
What's that?
We are a level 5 school, and we're so proud of that. And that is based on state TCAP scores for growth.
Awesome.
That's the highest level that you can achieve. So we have proof that this works.
There
That
you go.
students are learning and growing, and that level 5 just means that students have grown more than expected, that they've grown more than a year's growth of what you would expect to see.
Yeah.
So we're very proud of that.
Awesome.
So we wanted to make sure that we put that out there. I also think it's really important for people to understand that we take students from out of county. So you do not have to live in Rutherford County to attend our school.
Okay.
We take students from all over Tennessee. They just have to agree to come in. That is one other thing on the agreement. They have to agree to come in for in-person testing for benchmark and state testing. That's part of the agreement to attend our school. And then one other thing, before we completely end or anything,
please keep going.
Go back to the Connection Fridays for a second. I think one of the things that makes our Connection Fridays so special as a school is the whole family comes out.
Oh, okay.
I know the parents, I know the grandparents, I know the little siblings that aren't there.
That's cool, yeah.
And because, we're a smaller school, we're grades 3 through 12, we also are able to really follow those students as they go through. I had Molly in 5th grade, and so I still get to see Molly. And I get to go to prom, so when those students keep going through, I'll be at prom, and I'll be at graduation, cheering Elijah on, and any other students that I've had through this school, because typically, as a 5th grade teacher, after they leave my room, I don't see them again in a traditional school. They're just gone. But we are really a school where we're all in their corner rooting for them. And I didn't get to have Elijah because he was too old when we started with elementary. But I still have gotten to know Elijah through Connection Fridays and things like that. And my students that I had last year, I still get to see at Connection events and things that we have. So it truly is a family place where we really just all know each other and support each other.
I didn't know. So you have traditional prom, too?
We do.
All right.
We do. We are actually trying it this year in November because of our December graduates. We wanted them to participate in prom too. And once they graduate, they feel like they're done with high school, which I understand. So we're trying November this year for our prom.
Okay.
See how that goes. And we have 2 graduations. So we have a December graduation. And we'll have a traditional May graduation also.
Where are the graduations held?
At the MTSU Tucker Theater.
Okay, very cool. Nice.
Dr. Subicon goes all out. She's our principal. She decorates it up nice. It's a very nice
wonderful.
affair.
Yeah. Awesome. So is there, do you have a limit to how many students, or is there a threshold given it's virtual, or is it limited by teachers? Or
So we're limited at the moment with the number of teachers we have, but we still have openings. We take applications year round, so we do still have some openings in most grade levels. So it's not too late to be a part of it for this year. So apply. You can find more information on our website. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
I'll make sure to
all those
link all
places.
those in the description for you.
That'd be great.
Okay.
That would be great.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I add something that I
Please do. Have at it.
There's something that they are doing this year in the middle school. I can't speak for high school, but I know in the middle school blocks, 5 days a week, they're rotating between a writing class and a computer literacy class, which I was thrilled to see happen this year because, with just the surge of social media, it just gets bigger and bigger all the time. And I feel like the younger generations just take a lot of shortcuts sometimes when it comes to communicating. And to be able to have a class that really teaches them, hey, here's how to frame an email. Here's what might sound professional one day when you have a job and you're trying to communicate with, coworkers and a boss. And I just think that's great that they're offering that.
That is
And as well as some typing throwing in there too. Learning how to type correctly and not just the hunt and peck method.
Nice.
So, just learning how to communicate and be able to take that with you as you get older. I think it's just such an important skill to learn now.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Corporate emails 101. Write your email, then delete it. Then write the other one, then edit that, then you send. First response is usually, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, very cool. Well, awesome. Well, is there, I'm done with questions. I think y'all filled us in quite a bit. Thank you very much. But is there anything else you want to throw out there?
I mean, I'm just the resident student here.
Yeah.
But I really would like to say, like, I'm in a guitar class. We already talked about that. Our teacher is the middle school fine arts teacher, Mr. Porterfield. And he's
I like it. That's awesome.
he's like changed my life.
Yeah.
Like before that, I wasn't really interested in music or playing it or listening or really anything like that. But he's really changed my life so much. And I think that like a lot, that's kind of a common story among students here. Like, oh, that one teacher, oh, my English teacher. They're so, because I know the middle school teachers, I know every one of them. I know a fair few of the elementary school teachers. Yeah. And they're so kind and so like helpful and really care about you. And I know like every one of my friends has a story. That one teacher did that one really incredible thing for them. So it really is, like Miss Everett said, it's a family. Yeah. It's really like changed mine and a lot of others' lives.
That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. And Mr. Porterfield?
Yes.
Mr. Porterfield, thank you. Taking care of our kids out there. That's awesome. So cool. Well, thank you for sharing that.
To piggyback off of what he said, we are, we're a small staff, but we really do invest in our students. And I don't think I know of another school where the principal is calling students who's behind on their high school work. And she does. And she will reach out to elementary, middle school students also. We're really, truly, as a staff, invested in the success of all of our students.
Yeah. Wonderful.
It's a really cool thing to see.
Well, this is fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate y'all sharing all that, and thank you for sharing that story. That's great. So, is there anything else y'all want to throw out there at all before we wrap up?
We just appreciate you having us.
Oh, no problem.
We think
at all.
we have a fantastic school that I don't feel like everyone in our community knows about, and outside of our community because we do take students outside the district. So I just appreciate the chance to talk about it.
Oh yeah. Well, if people want more information about the school or the website, for example, where can they find it?
So Rutherford County Schools, just click on the Rutherford County Virtual School. Go to the main Rutherford County Schools website. There's a list of all the schools. Just go to our school. Our application's on our webpage. Just fill it out, and it'll get taken care of from there.
Okay. And then you said the application's on the webpage. Are there certain enrollment times, or can people enroll at any time?
People can enroll anytime. Okay. We take applications year-round, and like I said, we still have some openings for this current school year, so they are free to apply for this school year. It's not too late for this year.
Wonderful. Awesome. Okay. Well, I'll link all to that in the description.
Great.
So people can
Thank
find
you.
that for you. And then if anybody has any questions out there about anything, put them in the comments below. We'll do our best to get back to those. And then, that's it. Anything else? I'm good to go.
Thank you,
Thank you so
John, for
much.
Oh,
having
yeah.
us.
Not a problem.
Thank
Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. And everybody watching, thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you all in the next one.